Okay. So I would like to write, okay. Here, week 1. So things covered. Okay. So week 1. So be it day 0, day 1, whatever it is. So we did a machine setup. Machine setup with GitBash, GitLab account,
AWS account.
Terraform, AWS account. GitBash, Terraform, AWS CLI, GitLab account in GitLab account plus public key, copy the public key, correct? That also we did.
Yeah.
Plus project creation, project or group creation. AWS CLI and SSH key. Yeah, SSH key there. AWS account plus IAM user with access key, secret key. On GitBash, we ran AWS configure to set up AWS CLI. Okay. Anything else did we do? Mission setup or DevOps prerequisite?
No.
No, right? Okay. The second day or the follow-up day, what we did was DevOps introduction class. Need for Linux, Git, and GitLab. So source code management tool. Git for collaboration. So basically, Git and GitLab is not separate. If you say you use Git, you are supposed to either use GitLab, GitHub, Bitbucket, any of the Git repository, right? This
Right.
one is your client. This one will be your server. So basically, it's a client-server protocol, right? You
Right.
cannot say I just use client. I mean, I don't use server. It doesn't make any sense. Wait for Linux. Linux commands, and we edit it. Especially need for Linux means CLI, right? You understand what is CLI, right? Command line interface.
Yes.
Okay. We also configured GitLab CI for variables, right? Group variable, group level variables for access key, secret key, and region, default region. Do you remember you did this?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it was Git introduction class. In this we saw Git add. First it was Git config, then Git add, Git diff, Git status, uh, Git commit, Git push, Git branch. All that we saw. And also we saw purpose of .git/config file. Also we saw .ssh. I'll just keep it like this. /config file. This probably we didn't see. We saw only ID underscore RSC, that I'll cover it. SSH introduction. Did we cover this or no? SSH introduction.
Yeah.
Public key, that is ID underscore RSA dot pub. Private key. ID underscore RSA. Remote server authorization will be authorized underscore keys file. So this probably will do a recap. Okay, this one is very important. So we'll do a recap. So apart from this, so week 1, anything else did we do on week 1?
No.
No, right? Nothing
No.
much, right?
Yeah.
So week 02. It was Terraform introduction. What else did we see? You can see the chat. Okay, create EC2 instance from AWS console. AWS console overview. EC2 instance creation from AWS console. AMI ID. Instance type. What is that? Security group. ABS volume. Subnet ID. Also, we saw the other day EC2 instance type, instance class. Hope you are able to recollect things. Rahul, is it okay? Should we continue doing something else?
No, that's fine.
That's fine, right? I mean, you are able to recollect, right, what we did?
Yeah.
Subnet ID maybe probably it is related to the VPC. This VPC section, VPC networking, not covered yet. Or is it covered? I think it is not covered.
No, it's not covered yet.
Need recap. Recap. Okay, I'll just write it this way. So there are 2 stars. One is SS introduction, and then subnet, VPC networking. EC2 instance classes. If we go to docs. I don't know where they have kept the EC2 ones. Okay. So we should also add a V-editor commands specifically, right? Command mode, insert mode, create file, save file. Ether instance, spot instances, on-demand instances. Okay. And then S3 bucket introduction. Storage. Storage classes. ACLs. Create buckets. And access buckets. And then IAM policies. Users, groups, roles, policies. Then we also had EC2 S3 IAM. What else? Okay, I'll just go with the Terraform for now. Terraform. What is infrastructure as code? Explanation. Terraform. Code blocks. Terraform architecture. Terraform workflow. Okay. If you look at the PPT, right, this is more important for us to recap. What are we trying to do is cover Terraform, GitLab here. Git is a protocol that we are trying to cover, and we are also trying to cover the authentication from your GitBash. Say yours is a GitBash, it's a local machine. So you can say terminal, CLI, whatever it is. So you'll be writing Terraform code here. And in order to push your code to GitLab, you need SSH key. You need SSH private key on the local machine. private key on the local machine, public key on the GitLab server. That's why it is important to understand what is the purpose of using SSH keys. This is basically for passwordless. I'll just write it pless. That is passwordless authentication. There's a passwordless authentication to the remote server. It could be a GitLab server or it could be an EC2 instance. So GitLab is also a server because you are hosting a Git server over there. Whereas in EC2 instance, you can host anything. Any web server, you can host it. Whereas in the GitLab server, you are hosting a Git server. So for you to access anything in the passwordless way, you need to have a private key locally. Locally with the private key, you will be able to log in using SSH, and that will be validated with your public key, and your authentication will be successful. So in order to write the Terraform code, you are learning the VA editor commands. How to open a file, how to write in a file, how to save in a file. Then you are learning Git commands, how to add the file, how to commit the file, how to push the file. That also you are learning. So overall, if you look at it, GitBash is a primary tool for everything. And you use VA editor in order to write your code. And in order to create infrastructure as code, you need Terraform as a tool. Infrastructure as code tool is Terraform. Using this tool, using this HCL format, HashiCorp configuration language format, you will be writing the code in Git. That is nothing but in Git Bash, that you push it to your GitLab. That is what is the thing that we are trying to connect. How many tools are there here?
One, two, right?
Yeah, there is one tool that is Git.
Yeah. One is
Terraform. Third
two,
tool is Git Bash.
GitBash.
Git Bash is connected with VI. So Git Bash and VI together, 3 tools. And there is another important piece here, that is SSH keys. That is also another thing that you are supposed to have a clear-cut idea how SSH keys are being used. So
Okay.
overall, you are using 4 to 5 different tools in order to work on the infrastructure creation. What is this? Infrastructure creation. I talked about infra initial stage itself. You cannot build a shop or you cannot build any application. So for example, if you are building a new shop, right? If you want to build a
Without
new
without
with
data center, we cannot do it.
for example, exactly. Yeah. So if you talk about computer application, without the data center, you cannot build anything. Without the servers, you cannot build anything. If you talk about real world scenario, without the basic architecture of building, you cannot build a shop inside. So creating the infra is the first step towards building anything. It could be a building of an actual building, or it could be a building of an application. So infra is the first step towards DevOps. So the first thing that DevOps does is the infra thing. So if you go to any organization, definitely they will ask you for interview or anything, right? Are you part of the infra or are you part of the application?
Okay.
So there are 2 different things. Application means you are a vertical guy. If you are infra means you are a horizontal guy. What it means is, in an organization, there may be multiple teams working for the company. Say team 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. There are multiple teams working for the organization. But if you are on the infra, you'll be working for all these people, trying to satisfy what is their requirement. Because all in all, we'll have either a one data center or one cloud or even multiple clouds. There has to be one team which will be serving all the requests coming for infra. So when you go for an interview, you should talk about whether you are an infra guy or you are part of the application team. Got it?
Got it.
Yeah, if you are part of the application team, your roles and responsibilities will be focused on a particular item, particular application specific knowledge you should have more. Say, for example, if you're working on a banking application or if you're working on a healthcare domain or maybe insurance, you should have more knowledge on that particular part, and then you should be focusing more on the customer, external customer. Whereas if you are on the infra, you should be targeting mostly for the internal customer, and you are not expected to have any domain knowledge. This is very important to understand. If you are part of the infra team, you are supposed to have a lot of ideas about all the Terraform, all the tools like infrastructure, Terraform, Kubernetes for orchestration, CI/CD deployment, GitLab, or any other new tools which are coming up like SonarQube or any other orchestration tool, any other artifact tool. So many different tools are there in the infra. All those tools you must be very familiar, and your scope will be very broader. Whereas if you're part of the application team, your scope will be uh, focused on a particular item, a particular application, a particular stream or a domain. Okay. So if you are saying you work for infra, you should say you are in a horizontal team where you are trying to serve or accept multiple requests coming from the vertical teams, different application team, and you are trying to unify the process. For example, if some person says, I want so and so network, he cannot say that I want so and so network. You have to design, you have to define what kind of network configuration you can provide based on the company's requirement, based on the client requirement. There may be small cases where you will say little addition, little negation, based on the kind of customer that they are working on it. Ultimately, you have the complete opportunity to define or refine the solution that you are giving for company. It could be rules that you're writing for Git. You are creating a branching strategy, merging strategy, or any other application security. All those things you are responsible for if you are on infra. Okay, so the first thing that we will be looking at and finishing it off in the next couple of weeks is the complete infra part.
Okay.
So what we have seen so far is manual. We'll be again looking at a little bit more about how to do all this Terraform coding and everything. Then it will be automation. When I say automation, what it means?
Everything is automated and
Yeah, basically
there is no,
CI/CD.
CI/CD, right?
CI/CD. Basically, you don't need to manually run the pipeline, manually run the code, manually run the automation. It will run based on the some action. Do you know what action? Git push or merge. So some actions only write something to the repository. That is git push and merge. Other commands do not actually push anything to the repository. It can pull, but it doesn't push anything to the remote repository. So git push and git merge are the major commands or major actions that are done in order to trigger the pipeline. So when I say automation, these two actions will come into picture. push and merge. When you do a push or merge, the pipeline gets triggered. CI/CD pipeline gets triggered. In case of manual execution, you're the person, you are supposed to run the complete execution, manage the execution, stop the execution, control the execution, everything is at your end. And here we are going to be missing what we did at when we did. So there is no tracking of change. What changes you made? Why did you run that? What was the reason? How many different components are created? It's very difficult to track. So if you use a CI/CD pipeline, for every small action, it is actually logged. It is actually tracked. So you have an opportunity to identify who executed what and whose changes made the execution to start. What exactly caused that particular issue. Everything is kind of tracked. So that is why you need to have automation in place, CI/CD pipeline in place to make sure you completely track what is happening inside the organization, inside the project. Is it clear?
Yes.
And one more thing is, there is a dependency. If you do everything manually, there is a dependency. What dependency it is? If this person goes out of the company, right? What do you need to do? You need to ask him or maybe have a KT so that this person tells you exactly what has happened on that particular day, particular time. So in case of CI/CD, everything is recorded and tracked within the GitLab repository or GitLab's build pipelines and everything, or GitHub Actions, GitHub pipelines. So depending on what kind of tool that you are using, your application execution, your pipeline execution is tracked by that particular tool. You don't have to really worry about or go behind a particular person asking for help. That is the advantage of using CI/CD. This is absolutely only for infrastructure. The CI/CD is applicable for QA automation, DevOps automation, also for developer automation. For developer who is doing the build, right, there is also a CI. It is only CI. Here, CI is code integration. CD is deploying the build. Okay, any questions?
No.
No.
Can we Shankar get this document which is there, which you made it today?
This one?
No.
Okay.
Week 1.
Yeah,
Week 2.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely keep it posted in the same page where we are keeping the documents, right?
Okay.
Here somewhere. I'll make this one, the folder called 11/09/2025, and then I'll push it here.
Okay.
And this document also, I'll save it and then keep it for you. Keep it for
Okay.
you guys.
Okay.
Anyways, I mean, this is already recorded and it is available for you as a record, I mean, as a recorded video.
Right.
Okay. Anything more you would like to understand with respect to infrastructure as code?
Not yet.
Okay. So you have understood the complete workflow, right? I mean, what exactly happens with respect to infrastructure?
Right.
Okay. I'll start writing down few things here. Infrastructure as code. That is nothing but using Terraform. See, irrespective of what resources need to be created, I'll just write it this way. Irrespective of what resources that you want to create, the workflow remains the same, and there is not much change with respect to the responsibility. Okay. What I'm trying to say is you don't need to really worry so much about what this company will do, what the other company will do. Ultimately, the process remains the same. You are supposed to write the code for creating infra and then push the code to GitLab or any SCM tool, SCM report. Then configure CI/CD pipeline to pick up the to start the pipeline whenever there is a merge or push. And apply changes to the infrastructure. So ultimately, the process remains the same irrespective of how many ever resources that you want to create. It could be a single EC2 instance or multiple EC2 instances in ASG. What is ASG? Auto-scaling group. We'll talk more about auto-scaling groups, how to create auto-scaling groups, how to use auto-scaling groups in the upcoming classes. Or it could be ECS cluster or ECS or EKS cluster with RDS, S3, and all other resources. So irrespective of whatever resources that you need to create, the process remains the same. You are going to write all the code. You are going to maintain the code in the GitLab repository. And you're going to configure your CI/CD pipeline to be triggered based on the push or merge and complete the pipeline execution. Okay. Any doubts?
No.
So who else joined? I forgot to see.
It's Ijaz. Ijaz here.
Okay. So I just you have the clarity, right? I'm able to explain things.
Yeah, a bit of it. Yeah, because I still catching up with the
Okay.
previous videos and
Probably it would help you if you go through the recording, it will help you because I mean we have covered kind of a recap for 2 weeks.
right. Yeah, no, it helped. Like topics being covered and yeah.
Okay. Okay. Since Terraform has high weightage, I would like to go back and then explain few things in the Terraform. I'll go and explain few things. So this is pretty much whatever we have discussed so far. See, public key, private key, creating a GitLab account, creating a project, DevOps project, all that. I mean, if you really look at it, I'll share this slide also so that you can have a look at it. IAM user creation, access key, secret key, EC2 instance creation, T2 micro, security group, port numbers, all this. Okay, see, you have to clearly understand what is the purpose of AWS CLI. Then only you can have a clear-cut understanding of what is Terraform. Do you have a clear understanding of what is AWS CLI, how it is helping? It's a command line interface tool to connect to AWS cloud. Say if your AWS cloud has some resources or you want to create some resources in AWS cloud, what you're supposed to do is you don't need to log into the console and do all that stuff. If you have the access key and secret key that I mentioned before, using that, say for example, This one. Once you run AWS configure, your credentials and config files will be created based on the access key and secret key. This holds good for you to communicate to the AWS cloud account. What are the different operations that you can do overall at a high level? One is read, another one is write. So basically only there are two different classes of operations. One is read, another one is write. Write is all about create, modify existing ones, delete the ones which are created, update the existing ones that are created. So these are the write operations. When you talk about read operations, it is mostly trying to get some information, list some information from the existing resources. Sometimes it is described, where you describe the whole set of information. List and get are mostly a specific resource that you are trying to create a list. So describe basically does not require much parameters. You can just simply do a describe and it will give you all the resources available for that particular service. For example, here I'll probably, see here list is also kind of a list everything. There is no need to give any specific bucket name. So similarly, describe instances will describe and show you all the instances available in the particular region. So create bucket is a very specific write operation. In that you have to give a unique bucket name that you might have already given and then created. Hope you have done it. Creating a bucket, but not from the AWS CLI, but from the AWS console. Okay, deleting an S3 bucket. It is AWS is a command, S3 is a service, RB is a command to delete a bucket, and this is a bucket name. Like that, you are supposed to understand how it works from CLI. We'll have a hands-on session tomorrow to do all this, like creating a bucket, deleting a bucket, creating a EC2 instance, describing the EC2 instances, creating a bucket, creating IAM users, like that. Some small examples we will have. Hope it makes clear.
Okay.
Sure. So modify requires existing and new parameters. Updating is also same thing. List requires a particular resource value. So we call it as ARN. This is very important. You should make a note. Amazon resource name. So this is a unique mention of the particular resource. ARN means. Say for example, a person studying in 10th standard. How do you represent him? If you want to uniquely identify, say probably his name is Rakesh, right? What you say? School name first, and then that area, and then particular class, which class he is studying, then section, and then you say probably name or full name, or along with the serial number or roll number, along with the roll number. So this is how you identify a person uniquely, right? If you want to mention a particular person or refer to a particular person, your school name, your area name, your class name, your section, and your what is that I wrote? This is the roll number. This is the person name, full name. So similarly, any resource in AWS which is created will have a unique value of the particular resource. That is nothing but ARN. We'll have example for ARN also. Okay, going back to Terraform. Terraform is an infrastructure as code tool that we already spoke about it. Infrastructure as code means whatever requirements you have in order to create your infra, all those requirements you will be putting it in the .tf file, that you will be putting it into the Git repository. Then you do a push to the repository, and then ultimately it will create resources in AWS cloud. That is what you're going to do. This is basically to make your day-to-day life easy and record everything whatever you're doing, and it avoids a dependency from people, and it also keeps the record of whatever you're doing. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand or remember what you have done yesterday or day before yesterday or a month back. Okay, the code that you're writing, it will be like a JSON, similar to a JSON format, which is like key pair value. So there will be a key and a value. It's a key pair. So it's a configuration language. You can create, modify, or delete any resources. The Terraform workflow has init stage, validate stage, plan stage. Apply is the one which actually creates all the resources. Destroy is the one which removes all the resources from the cloud. So you need to write a block of code in order to create resources. What are the different blocks available? Provider block, which tells you what is the provider that you are going to use. Is it AWS, Azure, or any other cloud? Resource block is the resource that you want to create, especially it is a EC2 instance, VPC, or S3 bucket. It could be anything, but you have to clearly mention what is the resource that you want to create, but along with all the parameters that are required to create the resource. The fundamental authentication is via access key and secret key. Okay. Here comes the Terraform architecture. You are the infra engineer, the DevOps infra engineer who is writing all the Terraform code either locally or using Git. And depending on whether it is a remote execution or local execution, the Terraform software, if it is a local execution, you have a Terraform software which you copied by copying the terraform.exe file to the Windows folder. Do you remember? You copied your terraform.exe file, C Windows folder. So that helps you to talk to the Terraform, and based on the Terraform configuration that you write, it creates the plugins and provisioners for the provider that you have. Then when you do apply, it takes all this information and creates resources in AWS cloud. If you are writing provider as AWS, it creates the resources in AWS. After that, what it does is it goes and updates a Terraform state file, which could be a local or remote. This state file is in the JSON format, which is again a simple text file, key value pair, which has information about the current state of the infrastructure. This is more important, which has the current state of the infrastructure. So it could be, it is one important question. What is Terraform TF state file, which is nothing but which contains the current state of the infrastructure. Using that, you can see what resources are there in AWS cloud. So when you make some changes to your code next time, you have to do a Terraform apply once again. What it does is, this time it goes and checks what is there in the cloud right now. Then it goes and updates the resources in AWS cloud. Then again, it comes back and then updates the Terraform state file based on whether you added something, whether you removed something. It does this way. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to probably stop at this point because I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of information.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And majority of our DevOps would be based on Terraform, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, if you are part of that infra DevOps team, your most of the work will be onto the Terraform.
Right. And I just need a little help because when I was following the documents,
Yeah,
regarding all the first week ones where you set up your accounts and everything. I did
yeah,
that, but the only thing is when I'm creating I am user, I
yeah.
cannot add the programmatic access. That was the issue I was facing.
So you're supposed to log in as root user.
Yeah, I'm logged in as a root user, and
Okay.
but still
Can
I
you
couldn't.
stop that?
Just a second. Can I share my screen if you don't mind?
Yeah, that is good.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see
So
his screen.
I like when I go here and user, I do create user. I don't see an option like provide access to the console management.
You just type a username. Type a username, DevOps.
Okay.
Okay,
Next.
next. Yeah. Now you say attach policies directly. So this will attach the administrator. So you choose the second one, which is a checkbox. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Now go down and say next. Okay. Keep scrolling down. Yeah, create user.
Create user.
Yeah. So this would just create a user, but you're supposed to create access key and secret keys with the programmatic access. So click on the user first. So there is a section called security credentials, right? Yeah. Click over there. Click on access key. Scroll down further. Scroll down.
Okay.
Yeah. Create access
Create,
key.
create access to.
Right. Yeah. Say command line interface. The first option. Use CLI. Yeah. Scroll down and say I understand. And yeah, that's fine. Correct. Yeah, you can say create access key simply. Yeah. So here you have the access key and secret key, which you can copy and do a AWS configure.
Oh, okay. So then now go.
You copy and paste it. Okay, you go to AWS GitBash. Go to GitBash.
Yeah.
AWS space configure. Yeah, enter. Okay, go back to the browser and copy the access key. Right, right click. So you haven't configured many things. Okay.
I just
Okay, no problem. Enter. Yeah, go back to the this one and so you use alt tab.
Oh, okay.
Okay, right click and paste. I mean, you should configure many things here. Okay, enter. Default region US-East -1. No space. US dash used dash US small US dash East -1. Yeah, enter. This must be JSON, JSON, small letter. JSON, not JA, JSON, JSON.
JSON. Right.
Yeah, enter.
Shankar, I have a call in my
Sure,
office at 10, so I'll just connect tomorrow.
sure. Okay, Rahul.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, Hajaz.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, I think that's all. I mean, you are pretty much done. You should be able to
So
do
now I
whatever
can,
has been taught
yeah,
to you.
follow, right?
Yeah.
And because I done the Docker and everything, was I just need to do this part now, I guess.
Okay.
Is my easy to, right? This is the one now,
Yeah.
because I did the Docker and everything. I got like Docker Hub
So
and
easy to that copy SSH public key, right? That you can leave it for now.
oh, okay. So I
Uh,
don't need to work on this
your
one.
your GitLab setup is done, right?
Yeah. I did all the versions.
Okay.
Yeah, Terraform,
Sure.
everything was, yeah. So yeah, I
Sure.
will
I
follow
think
if I will try to cope up this week. If I
sure.
come in, with the Linux one, I
Sure.
was good because I was as a Linux admin. I know a few of the things, but I was more
Okay.
into patching. Like we just do
Okay.
patching once in a month, like on prod and everything. So Linux, I'm comfortable with. But again, like you learn, you work in a specific role, so you don't get exposure to other Linux, things. So it will be good. So now I'm like, I'm
Sure.
gonna cover up within this week, and I think by next week, I can follow.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Bye.